Hello and welcome to my channel. I am here doing a story time. I had Vivian play this game and now I'm recording a voiceover to go alongside of it. And it's going to be a multi-part story time about my marriage and how it came to be and then how it came to not be. So if you don't like multi-part story times, this series might not be for you because it is going to be quite a few parts. It's got a lot of twists and turns and it all culminates in an arrest and a PPO and I guess where we are now. So I first met my husband in 2005. We were introduced by mutual friends at a birthday party, but we all were coworkers as well. I was on a day shift at the time, and all of my other coworkers and friends were on the afternoon shift. I had switched to days because I thought that it would be easier for my, at the time, 2-year-old, but it turned out to not be easier because of the time that day shift starts. Anyway, so I switched back to afternoons, and unbeknownst to me, my husband, who wasn't my husband yet, had previously told my best friend and her fiance that when he saw me in the parking lot during shift change, that he was going to marry me. So they had made it their life's mission to get us together. And so when I first started back on the afternoons, I was in a higher position than him. So I had to occasionally supervise his work, like him, and I had a different person every day that I had to supervise and check their work. And when it was him, he tried to aggressively hit on me, and he was doing the southern accent that I didn't realize at the time was fake. And I told him he sounded like he reminded me of Matthew McConaughey. Well, he apparently took that as a compliment. He thought that I thought that he was sexy, or I don't really know. What I actually meant was he reminded me of Matthew McConaughey, as in Dazed and Confused. Super old guy hitting on younger girls. Kind of creeped me out a little. Wasn't a fan of the things he would say and he just reminded me of that character. And I didn't love it. And so I said something to my best friend. I was like, this guy's kind of creeping me out. Well, she must have said something to him because he did end up toning it down. But I didn't realize she probably had fed him information about me as well, because my favorite author was his favorite author. My favorite movie was his favorite movie. My favorite shows were her favorite. I didn't realize at the time that it was manipulation. I just thought that it was, wow, we have so much in common. This is, kind of cool. And one thing that he did miss the mark on, though, is he had been previously dating someone, and he started going on and on to me about how her kids called him dad, and he just spent all this money, thousands of dollars, buying her kids all brand new back to school stuff and all this stuff. And that didn't impress me. I was very clear on the fact that my son had a father. My son's father and me are the two that took care of him. We didn't need some guy stepping in to try to play daddy to my child. I'm not okay with that. My child has a daddy. You are not going to be him. And so I made that super clear right from the get-go. And so then he kind of backtracked and suddenly, because I was like, wait, these little girls call you dad and you're just not ever speaking to their mom? That's not okay. And then it was, no. They kind of saw me as like a dad, but, they don't call me dad. And I don't know. It was interesting. The way he changed it up. And he would tell me these stories that were clearly from movies. And one time I called him out because he literally told me the entirety of a scene from Black Sheep. And I was he told me the story, and I was like, oh, that's so weird. I cannot believe your brother is Chris Farley. And he was like, what? I was like, do you think I've never seen that movie? That didn't happen to you. And so, he kind of laid off on that a little bit. But he would still frequently tell me things that, and I was 23. By the time we actually got together, and were dating. I was 24 and he was 38, and my son had just turned 3. But still, I was young, I was naive, I hadn't really been in a lot of relationships. I didn't even really want to be in a relationship, I'm going to be honest with you. But I just felt so pressured, so I did. And things were okay with us for a while. You know, he, like I said, he pretended to like all the same things I liked. You know, he would say I was his best friend, and, you know, we were soulmates and all this stuff, and things were okay. But then when I got pregnant with our son, my second son, his first, things kind of changed. Then suddenly he didn't like the things I liked. Suddenly his temper would come out more because he felt like he had me locked down at that point. And so it wasn't the greatest time at that point. But for the most part, like, our kids had a pretty good childhood. You know, took them to do fun things. We did take a big family vacation. As it turned out, he did not like family vacations. It was too focused on the kids. It was too, you know, we couldn't do whatever he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. It was all about the kids. So he went on one family vacation with us, and then after that, I took the kids by myself because he never went again. He actually wasn't really hands-on with the kids. Like, I did all of the child rearing. I did all of, like, the taking them places, doctor's appointments, school stuff, all of it. He was very much not involved. He would take, like, trips up north to go see his dad. He would go out on the weekends on his motorcycle to go to, like, bike night and things like that. And the kids and I would just kind of be on our own. That was what we were used to. It didn't really bother us that much. You know, he was still home most nights if he wasn't gone, you know, out of town up north. He was home most nights eating dinner. You know, he left jobs a lot. Like, he would get fired or quit jobs pretty frequently. He was very much not great at holding down jobs, but for the most part, things were, you know, they were okay. They were good. You know, we had fun, the kids and I. And like I said, he wasn't really around for a lot of it, but he was home at least every single day, you know, and, you know, aside from when he went up north. And so it was a fairly normal childhood. You know, we bought a house, we had another baby. And so, you know, there were 3 kids, we had a house, we had a dog, we had a cat. You know, kind of a nice little life. And one thing, he had a temper. He had a major temper. He would scream in my face. He would get mad over everything. And he also had a wandering eye. I could never prove any of the things, but I had a lot of people whispering in my ear about other women, usually people at work. I had one woman who was our neighbor who literally, like, cornered me to insinuate that her and my husband had something going on. I kind of buried my head in the sand and ignored it all. I didn't have any proof. I would, you know, tell him that these people were saying these things, and he would tell me that they were crazy. You know, I found dating profiles, stuff on, what's it called? Craigslist. Like, and he would deny it all. He would tell me that people were setting him up. So I buried my head in the sand and I ignored it. I just, you know, I just wanted to live my life and to, I don't know, have life be how it was. And so I left it at that. And then the events of 2016 happened, and that changed everything. I am actually going to wait and get into that in the next video, because I feel like it's not it's too long. Sorry, this video is only going to be 10 minutes, so it's not going to be, it's going to be too long. But thank you very much for watching this video, and if you have any questions about this or any other story, anything you want clarified, please let me know. Thank you to Vivian for being my little gameplay girl for this, and I will subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.